evening, you are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Cynthia Ng. Muda says it will withdraw support for the coalition government if the Attorney General's Chambers fails to explain its decision to withdraw 47 corruption charges against Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Muda President Syed Abdul Rahman calls for the Deputy Prime Minister to be charged again. At the same time, it is demanding for the separation of the role of the public prosecutor from that of the AG.
Muda decided that this is one of the biggest red line crossed, garisan merah yang telah pun dilanggar. Dengan itu, Muda tidak teragak-agak untuk menilai kedudukannya dalam kerajaan perpaduan pada hari ini. Sebab itu, Muda mengambil langkah untuk menggerakkan kempen protes di jalan raya, di social media dan juga kempen dakwa Zahid.
Yesterday, the Kuala Lumpur High Court granted Ahmad Zahid a discharge not amounting to acquittal DNAA in his corruption case involving Yayasan Akal Budi funds. A DNAA opens the possibility of Zahid facing trial for the same charges in the future if the prosecution decides to reinstate them.
The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) is considering a licensing and regulatory framework to address online harm and imbalance in media. The MCMC said it held meetings with Meta and Google at its headquarters yesterday to discuss challenges posed by online media. The challenges of online media include child sexual abuse material, online gambling, content related to race, religion and royalty, fraud and phishing, online trade in illegal drugs and substances, impersonation and fake news. The MCMC is also working to address the imbalance in traditional advertising expenditure between digital platforms and local media. It is considering regulations that will make tech giants like Google and Meta compensate news outlets for content sourced from them, similar to those introduced in Australia in 2021. The MCMC is also considering rules similar to Canada's Bill C-11, which aims to regulate streaming platforms and require them to support local content. MCMC said it has also scheduled a meeting with TikTok to discuss the same issues. ASEAN must guard against divisive actions from major powers and uphold centrality. Speaking at the ASEAN Leaders Summit in Jakarta, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says competition among the major powers is impacting implementation of cooperative initiatives under ASEAN-led mechanisms.
The competition among them is impacting the implementation of cooperative initiatives under ASEAN-led mechanisms such as the East Asia Summit and ASEAN Regional Forum. ASEAN has a unique opportunity through its plus platforms to bring together the competing parties to remind them of the need to prioritize dialogue and cooperation, to promote healthy competition, and to ensure that they bring into their relations with ASEAN would help maintain peace, stability and prosperity in this region.
The 43rd ASEAN Summit comes amid heightened tensions in the South China Sea after China released a new map claiming large areas disputed by some ASEAN members, sparking protests from Malaysia and others. The Malaysia Meteorological Department has warned that the country could experience trans-boundary haze once again. Its Director General Muhammad Helmi Abdullah says this is due to dry weather caused by the ongoing El Niño phenomenon and the southwest monsoon.
In a statement, Muhammad Helmi said El Niño conditions have been detected in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and are expected to continue until the start of 2024. According to forecasts by the International Monitoring Agency, El Niño's strength is predicted to reach its maximum level at the end of this year to the beginning of next year. This would lead to prolonged dry weather, resulting in less rainfall and forest fires. Combined with winds from the southwest monsoon, it would cause trans-boundary haze to occur.
The supply of local white rice is expected to rebound within a month. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu says intervention measures have been taken in order to ensure sufficient supply by increasing the rice production quota by more than 20%. Part of the ministry's intervention is the Local White Rice Special Program as a short-term measure to ensure sufficient local rice in the market. Under the program, paddy millers and rice wholesalers have been asked to increase the supply of local white rice by 20%. Muhammad Sabu also urged the people not to worry, refrain from panic buying and storing rice, as there was enough for everyone. He added that the ministry had previously introduced initiatives such as the Mini Sekinchan large-scale smart paddy project, where they managed to increase paddy production to 11 metric tons per hectare, which is 3 times more than the normal production. And there are plans to improve the water system infrastructure in paddy fields to help increase production next year. GX Bank Berhad, a digital bank led by Grab, has received approval from the Finance Ministry and Bank Negara Malaysia to commence operations on September 1st. It is the first of 5 applicants for a digital bank license to be approved.
GX Bank is led by Pei Si Lai, former Managing Director and Country Head of Retail Banking at Standard Chartered Malaysia, while its board is chaired by Datuk Zaitun Muhammad Hassan. It is a subsidiary of GXS Bank Private Limited, the digital banking joint venture between Grab Holdings Limited and Singtel and other Malaysian investors, including Kwok Group. The bank will now begin beta testing its mobile application, starting with employees of GXS Bank, Grab and Kwok Group, before rolling it out to the wider public in stages.
We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned for more.
Sedar atau tidak, dunia kini sedang menghadapi krisis tenaga elektrik. Sejak dari tahun 2021 hingga pertengahan 2022, kita menyaksikan kesan ketara kenaikan harga elektrik di seluruh dunia. Di Malaysia juga tidak terkecuali. Tetapi rakyat tidak pernah merasa sebarang kenaikan kerana subsidi yang diberikan berulang kali. Namun, sampai bilakah kita mampu bertahan? Sebagai pengguna, kita boleh membantu negara menangani krisis tenaga ini dengan menggunakan elektrik secara bijak dari sekarang.
Zahirkan rasa cinta kepada negara sempena sambutan Hari Kebangsaan dan Hari Malaysia 2023. Gelorakan semangat patriotik dengan kibaran bendera, lambang kemegahan negara. Hormati jalur gemilang dengan cara pengibaran yang betul. Ayo, kibarkan jalur gemilang.
Welcome back. Thailand's Prime Minister Sept and his cabinet were sworn in today, almost 4 months after a general election. The new government, made up of an 11-party coalition led by Thai, is set to unveil measures to tackle the high cost of living and near-record household debt.
Sept and 33 ministers took the oath of allegiance before King Maha Vajiralongkorn in a traditional ceremony at the Royal Palace in Bangkok. The government will deliver its policy statement to Parliament on September 11. High on the new government's agenda will be an immediate cut in fuel prices and electricity bills from September, as well as Thai's signature policy of 10,000 baht digital voucher for all citizens aged 16 and over. The coalition government is under pressure to jumpstart the economy amid rising interest rates and a slowdown in exports. The 61-year-old Sept, who is also finance minister, has also been tasked with finalizing the state budget for the fiscal year starting October 1st.
Thailand's newly sworn-in cabinet led by Prime Minister Sept is urged to work harder to gain the trust of the people, especially in the south of the country when it comes to resolving the Deep South issue. Political analyst from Thammasat University, Dr. Jaran Malulim, says this is because the cabinet consists of lawmakers rejected by most of southern Thailand during the general elections last May.
We should realize that this government leading by Pheu Thai never wins in the Deep South. Therefore, now they have to think that the new Prime Minister with the Minister of Interior, Minister of Defense should work together in order to resolve the problem in the South. Although now the peace talk is going on, but we hope that actually Pheu Thai or the leading for this government now try much as they never win before in order to improve the road and everything to the South. So by that, if they want the problem of the South to be clear, they should spend a lot of time understanding the problem of the South, the people in the areas, okay, and the peace talk that should going on.
The separatist insurgency in the mainly Malay Muslim provinces of Thailand's southern border region, including Pattani, Yala and Narathiwat, peaked in 2004, with over 7,000 deaths reported so far. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un may travel to Russia to meet President Vladimir Putin for talks on potentially supplying weapons to Moscow, according to the U.S. government. This comes after Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu visited Pyongyang in July to hold discussions on buying over artillery ammunition. The U.S. National Security Council said the deal could include the provision of raw material and multiple types of ammunition from North Korea, which the Russian military plans to use in Ukraine. However, it did not say when and where the potential meeting might take place. Since Shoigu's July visit, a second delegation of Russian officials have visited Pyongyang for further discussions on a potential deal, while Putin and Kim have exchanged letters pledging to increase their bilateral cooperation. Apart from North Korea, Russia has also received drones and artillery from Iran. Concerns are growing over the health of Aung San Suu Kyi after a request for urgent medical care was denied by military authorities in Myanmar. According to sources within the country, the 78-year-old has only been treated by a prison's department doctor so far.
Suu Kyi has reportedly been prescribed a number of medications, including for gum disease, which has left her unable to eat due to pain. However, a request for private medical care has been denied, despite it being made by prison authorities. Last July, the junta said Suu Kyi would be moved from prison to house arrest after pardoning 5 of the 19 charges against her, but no such move has ever been confirmed. Suu Kyi is facing 27 years of detention for offences ranging from incitement to electoral fraud and corruption. She was imprisoned after her democratically elected government was overthrown in a military coup in 2021.
The Monetary Authority of Singapore has imposed a lifetime ban on former Goldman Sachs banker Roger Ng. The prohibition order, which takes effect today, follows his conviction in the US for conspiracy to launder money embezzled from 1MDB.
The move bans him from performing any regulated activity under the Securities and Futures Act and from providing any financial advisory services under the Financial Advisors Act. He is also prohibited from acting as a director or becoming a substantial shareholder of any such company. Ng was the only Goldman Sachs banker to be tried and convicted in connection with the 1MDB scandal. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison in April 2022, but has yet to serve his sentence after obtaining several extensions, the latest of which is to allow for negotiations between Malaysia and the US government for him to return to Malaysia to assist in the 1MDB investigation.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching and good night.